Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. All right, so I'm in my hotel room in Scottsdale. And if you guys have been following along, I'm here for a baseball tournament, but I wanted to discuss some things going on in Bachelor Nation. This video, we're going to talk about Bachelor data. Our good friend Susanna over there in Massachusetts is doing the Lord's work, and we really mean this, the Lord's work in breaking down the data of The Bachelor. So we'll get right into that in a second. Do me a favor, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like. You can hit it a odd number of times, and I'm going to have a video coming to you tomorrow on my Patreon with a more in-depth wrap-up of the premiere of Michelle's season, patreon.com/Dave Neal. All right, so let's get right into this. And I do apologize. I'm looking at my screen, but for you guys, it looks like I'm looking away because of the way this room's set up and the lighting. This is just the way to do it. Okay, folks, I'm trying my best. But if that bothers anybody else, it bothers me too. So anyway, Bachelor data. She's about to hit 100,000 subscribers, which is insanity that she's been able to get the credits in Newsweek, Vulture, Us Weekly. I mean, she's literally does, talk about niching down. So we'll go through an analysis of episode 1, some of the different, she puts together different great charts regarding screen time and things like that. So 35% of the episode 1 was cocktail party, 30% limo entrances. Limo entrances felt like 95%. Rose ceremony, 12%. Previews, 6%. Welcome Michelle, 6%. Meet the men, 9%. So nothing too different there. You know, these opening episodes, there's so much context. I always say as a recapper, it's so hard to even, pick things apart because it's like, it's hard to pick apart a gag. It's much easier to pick apart like a bad date. All right, episode 1, featured screen time. And don't forget, of course, we're pulling this information from Susanna's Instagram. If you have Instagram, go to her page and give her a follow. She goes way in depth. Episode 1, featured screen time. Of course, Michelle gets the lion's share. And down here, we have some of the other guys. Pardeep. Look at poor Pardeep. He's so far down there. He barely got a frame. Ryan got a lot. For a guy that was voted off right away. He got his storyline. If you haven't checked out my videos about Ryan, go back and watch those. Nate did pretty well. Joe, of course, has a big storyline. Tayshia's in there. And some of these guys, guys, let's see. I'm trying to see Bryan. Where's Bryan? Is Bryan up in here? Bryan, I wanted to feature him on this video today. Oh, Bryan's all the way down there. Really? Bryan got literally the least amount of screen time. Let's just jump right into Bryan. We'll go back to the Bachelor data, but while we have Bryan here, Bryan is a veteran, 8-year NFL vet. I don't believe he's playing on this season. But listen, as an offensive lineman, people get injured. You can literally be plucked out of retirement to go back. So who knows? Maybe he's still playing this year. Civil engineering grad. Seems like a cool guy. Wore some really cool shoes. He's obviously an offensive lineman, so he's a big dude. He's got the cool snazzy shoes, which of course it looks like Michelle appreciated, but doesn't look like any of this made its way really into the show. But on the night that Bryan, on the night that Bryan, on his Instagram, he got voted out, obviously didn't get a rose, but I wanted to share some of his, what he had to say, share his message. The gift I was supposed to give Michelle, my dad's homemade maple syrup to lead into how important my family is. Instead, using it for shots with the watch party tonight. So never got to give her a gift. Did he even get any one-on-one time? With the show coming out tonight, I'd like to shine a spotlight on 2 charities that are near and dear to me. Living Water International and Compassion in Jesus' Name. So if you feel so compelled, think about supporting access to clean water or sponsoring a child. So allows you to sponsor young kids around the world, helping to remove obstacles to an education and better life. This guy just seems like a real smart, successful dude. Also, some important issues I feel deserve being highlighted. Ending corporate control of our politicians by reforming campaign finance laws and giving the power back to the people. Ending partisan gerrymandering by setting up nonpartisan commissions. Rein in pharmaceutical companies by setting up price caps. I mean, this dude's got more, I hate to say it, he's got more structure than the Republican Party. And the Democrats too. Allocating funds to fix rape kit backlog, promoting renewable energy, making sure we equitably fund our public schools, making Election Day a national holiday, legalizing marijuana. Where is my national anthem button? I don't have it with me here. Mandating mental health education in our school curriculums. Bryan Witzmann is a smart guy. I had to share, I had to save these because he doesn't have a big following, but imagine what you can do with your platform when you want to promote renewable energy and all the reforming qualified immunity, hold cops liable that betray the public trust. I mean, everything that he said just makes so much sense here. You could read that back another time. When you get beat out by an apple and a guy who says buongiorno. So there he is. I don't think his time on Bachelorette did him any justice. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get him back on Paradise? But again, with a little screen time like that, it's going to make it nearly impossible. There he is. I mean, Nate's a tall guy, but this guy holds his own. He's like 6'6", 320 pounds. And then if we go back to we'll get back into the data, but I'd like to share this stuff with you guys. He's he's a beast of a guy. I'm sure there's plenty of ladies out there that are like, I'm going to be sliding into his DMs. Probably has tough knees though. Big guy like that. I'm just guessing. So there he is. I mean, he's a stud. They did not do him justice. Not every guy rocks a suit or anything. But anyway, I was rooting for him. So when I found out that he didn't make it past night 1, I was a little bummed out. There he is. Anyway, all right. Back to that was my feature of the day. Give him a follow on Instagram. So featured screen time, he got the least. Episode 1 featured screen time. So Ryan, Nate, Joe, they kind of ran the show. Episode 1 featured screen time. Yeah, there's Bryan on the bottom. Doesn't say too much, obviously, because Ryan was the drama that got kicked out. So it doesn't always say too much about the show, about what's going to be happening moving forward. But Bachelorette Instagram growth, episode 1, 24-hour update. Top gain, Michelle. She gained 13,000 followers. Michelle didn't have an Instagram before Matt James' season. So this is wildly successful that she's over 500,000. Tayshia lost a few followers. I don't think that's a big deal. I think when your following's 1.8 million, followers come and go. It doesn't mean Tayshia bought followers, but a lot of times, here's what I've learned, because my fiance's Instagram, Tasha Courtney, she has to remove a lot of bots. There are like fake followers and they need to follow public figures. And then to make it look like they're real people. So then every once in a while, Instagram will just randomly delete these. So that could be what's happening. I doubt any of her followers are fake. Clayton was the number 4 gained, 2,000 followers gained. He's up to 30,000. Nate had a big night, gained 7,000. And Martin gained, 200. That's not too much. I don't even know why Martin's in there. Caitlyn gained a couple. But again, Caitlyn and Tayshia's followings are so mature that they're not going to gain much. Bryan's at 8,000. Top gain rate, Joe. So Joe gained a bunch, but that kind of skews because he had probably no following to begin with. So he's up to 6,000. So his growth rate was 67%. Doesn't say too much. Let's see. Pardeep had a good, look at that followers gained. He basically doubled his following. 95% growth rate. That's a double of his following. So Pardeep, for not having any screen time, is getting a lot of love from the audience. Bachelor.reality says, give us more Pardeep. Ryan did really well too. And let's see. Rick gained some. Okay, so not Edward. Who's this guy, Edward? Does that just mean he doesn't have an Instagram account? Account was hacked. Oh no. That's not a good way to start. His account was hacked. I love that they added that for context, because people are probably like, what happened to him? His account was hacked. That sounds like my mom, who has like 15 different email addresses. I'm like, Mom, what's your email? She's like, well, I got rid of my MSN and you told me not to use the AOL and I can't find my GeoCities password. So it's like, just create a whole new life, Mom. All right. Let's read some more updates here. Bachelorette Instagram growth. So here are the full growth updates. So Clayton so in pink here is their followers that they already had. And yellow is the growth. So Nate actually had the biggest bulk of new followers, whereas Clayton has received a bunch of followers. Most of you guys will know why. And then down here, Bryan, even though he got 0 screen time, already had a pretty good following. I mean, if you have 8,000 to 10,000 followers before going on the show, that's a pretty good deal. Hey, I'm almost at 12,000. I'm at 11,900. So go follow me on Instagram at DNeals and read some comments here. Someone said, how do you track all of this data? It's called Adderall. We have a highlights saved called About an Analysis that breaks it all down. Yeah, Bachelor data, they're just they're getting so much. They might be the biggest tool that's not actually working with Bachelor. Junkies like me just talk about the content that they're creating here. Let's go over Bachelorette limo entrances. And also, Bachelor data. Susanna has a course she does. I don't know if it's in session right now, but if anyone has a job that works with Excel and Google spreadsheets, I know Ryan Fox could help you. She has a course, and I think a lot of people's employments are actually able to pay for the course, so you can learn how to do more visual things through the common denominator that we all know, which is Bachelor Nation. So Bachelorette limo entrances, traditional entrances versus gimmick. So this takes the last 7 Bachelorettes, JoJo, Rachel, Becca, Hannah, Claire, Katie, Michelle. And it's a nice little slide chart. Is that what this is called? So green here is gimmick entrances. So Michelle had the most gimmick entrances. Katie was 50-50. The least amount of gimmick entrances was Becca. And Rachel had the second most gimmick entrances. But it looks like it was really about 50-50 up until Michelle, in which case it was all gimmicks. I don't know why they went for that. I don't really understand it. But, some of those gimmicks were like showing up with a yardstick, asking to get spanked. All right, a little bit of a gimmick. But then the fire trucks. The production value on these gimmicks. Bachelorette limo entrances. Oh, so these are on the guy's side. So the guy's side, Matt, Peter, Colton, Ari, Nick, Ben H. They were, for the most part, 50-50 with Matt. Nick had 2/3 of his ladies showed up with a gimmick. Colton was just about 50-50. The only gimmick with Colton is that it didn't end exactly how we would have thought. How about that for a gimmick? Enough said there. It's Mia says, what counts as a gimmick? Do people who speak in a different language at first count? That's a good question. Bachelor Data says, I pinned a comment in this thread with the description. So let's go to the top. I don't see that comment. I guess it doesn't matter. They have their ways. You got the thing is with data is you have to draw a line somewhere because it's quantitative data in a qualitative world, right? You have qualitative versus quantitative. So how do you make screen time quantitative? Well, you have to decide featured screen time is not just being in the frame, but in focus. There's still biases that can exist. And Susanna talked all about this when I interviewed her on my channel. So you can go back probably a month or two now and you can go see that. But it can be very complicated. But if you stick to a certain set of rules, maybe you adjust them as time goes by if you find any biases that you have there. But of course, when it comes to data, there's always going to be some bias that exists. And it's interesting to look at. What she's doing, though, without, she doesn't work for the show, so she doesn't have any bias to make contestants look a certain way. The thing that's interesting with Instagram, the Instagram stats is, of course, there's no bias there. These are the stats. This is how it looks. That's it. When it comes to Bachelorette entrances or featured screen time, you could probably argue that, here or there might be an error, but that's why you tabulate multiple multiple sources, multiple reference points, because then you can kind of get rid of whatever abnormalities may exist. All right, I think that's it. And then I'll just, let's go through the stories here because she had mentioned the ratings going down. So let me just wind back a little bit here. Susanna got a lot of DMs regarding this season having bad ratings so far and why that might be the case. So I'll share with you what she thinks. Do you think it bodes badly for Michelle's season that her numbers are so much lower? Yes, numbers are down. They've been going down since Peter's season ended. Claire's season saw the first decrease compared to previous seasons. This is Instagram numbers. Ratings were down last night. Factors could include it's a bad time of the year for The Bachelorette to be on. That's why they can't get it on Mondays. I really don't see them doing a fall season ever again. Tuesdays are not popular days for the show. Even pre-pandemic, Tuesday episodes always did badly. People might be feeling Bachelor overload fatigue. I've heard this from some of you. Race is a factor we've seen in the past impact the show in different ways. That's absolutely true. Can't deny it. A lot of people are also moving to Hulu every season. I'm not expecting Peter Hannah's season kind of numbers anymore, simply because there are more platforms out there competing against Instagram. I am more interested in how contestants compare to each other. Teachers' examples. We don't compare test scores of kids in 2010 to kids in 2021. Yeah, with TikTok, with the pandemic, there's so many different variables that could affect demographics. Not to mention the way that the Nielsen ratings operate, it's just a faulty system in the first place. So a lot of people don't even, NBC's trying to create a new ratings system because it's just faulty. They call people up. They're like, who's got a Nielsen? Like, they got software, whatever they use. It's just not, it's not accurate. Also, the playoffs for baseball were on Monday night or Tuesday night. Much easier to watch baseball at a later time. I'm sorry, much easier to watch Bachelorette at a later time than a playoff game without being spoiled. So yeah, a lot of TV competition. We don't need to know that. And then also, Dish Network is having an issue with a company that hosts ABC. So there's ABC has been temporarily removed due to some issues with renewing contracts and coming to an agreement of the terms. So they're basically in a standoff until that ends. So a lot of people with cable haven't been able to get the shows. Some say, I prefer watching it later and have for years. Skipping commercials saves so much time. And my guess most people are now doing the same thing. I saw on YouTube TV app that I would have to turn out for them to, okay. Ratings are complicated. That's why they don't post there. Dish issues widespread, not just in Dallas, sports, and other stuff going on. But then in my eyes, it was like, well, Michelle doesn't have to compete with summer activities the way Katie's season had to compete with. With Katie's season, it's like the pandemic surrounding the corner, whatever that means. People are getting vaccinated. They're going out to barbecues. So you have that to compete with. But with on-demand TV, people can watch the show when they watch it. So not that big of a deal. All right, let me know what you guys think. Again, please don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy Dave in his hotel room. And also hit the like button. I appreciate y'all so much. At D Neals for all my Instagram content, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye now.